Happy fall, folks. Hey there, I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. And we finally have the Sam Adams Beer Fest pack for 2023. This is their fall variety pack this year. I say finally because I started hearing about this thing being available in stores, I think in Pennsylvania and a couple of other places like 2 weeks ago. Thanks, guys, for the heads up. Sorry, I didn't write down the folks who gave me a heads up, but there's at least 2 or 3 of you. And then just last week, it was available in Bangor, Maine. Thanks, Jay, for giving me the heads up on that. I did remember because it was only one person. But same chain of beer stores. We both have a Damon's in our town. But the Sam Adams Fall Fat Pack showed up at the Damon's in Bangor a clear 5 days, maybe a full week before I got it here in Waterville, which is kind of painful. And even then, I don't have it at my local Damon's. I had to go to Hannaford. So, anyway. Not that that matters. You guys are here for a beer review. So we're going to check out all 4 of the beers in this pack. This year we have 2 new ones. Hoppy Lager, which I suspect isn't necessarily new, because I swear they've done Hoppy Lagers before. Maybe it's just a new formulation of something they've done before. Flannel Fest. And then we've got, of course, the Oktoberfest. And Jacko seems to be a returning beer that's here to stay at least for a while, because we're getting it in the variety pack, I think 2-3 years now running, and it's also showing up separately in 6-packs. We are going to lead off with Jacko, and then we're going to do the Oktoberfest, we'll do the new Flannel Fest, and then Hoppy Lager. The Oktoberfest has a slight hint of hoppiness to it, but something that specifically says Hoppy Lager will save the hoppy stuff for last. Nothing will wreck your palate faster in terms of tasting other beers than a high hop content, because that bitterness just kind of overwhelms anything else, even to the point where you want to drink your hoppy beers after your darker beers, unless your darker beers are hoppy. All right. Enough about that. You guys probably know that already as well. So Jacko is the perfect fall beer, it says here. Jacko's cinnamon and nutmeg aromas recall memories of freshly baked pumpkin pie. It has the ideal balance of seasonal spices with a crisp, refreshing finish. This pumpkin ale pairs perfectly with the transition of summer into cooler days and nights. And it is a 4.4% ABV beer with 8 IBUs. Now, the build is a pumpkin ale, and if I remember correctly, there was a bit of history shared on this one. It was actually a reformulation originally of the Traveler Pumpkin Shandy, which was more of a sour type beer. And then after putting out the Jacko as a shandy, they redid it again, reformulated it again a little bit as just a pumpkin ale. So it doesn't have that sourness to it, which it's tricky. There's a Harvest Shandy from, is it Leinenkugel? I think that I was turned on to a while back that I haven't seen for a long time, but it is a sour fall beer, slightly sour fall beer, and it actually worked out pretty good, even with some pumpkin and vegetable type taste to it, but it's hard to balance some of those flavors out, and I just think the original Jacko just didn't do it well. I never had the Traveler Pumpkin Shandy, maybe it was better, but supposedly originally the same recipe. So, my God, I am just running off at the mouth tonight. Alright, so that is a very, very effervescent beer. Fairly clear, but it does get a little cloudy towards the top. Nice, dark, slightly orangey brown color to it. Definitely an interesting looking beer. Whew, pardon. It definitely has like a wet pumpkin aroma. Wet pumpkin is a little different than dried pumpkin. It's got like this slightly, I don't know if pulpy is a smell, but definitely like wet vegetable matter. Not in an unpleasant way, but distinctly pumpkin. Maybe getting some hints of fall spices. Almost like a dried leaf aroma, maybe. And that's maybe just my fall brain kicking in, but mostly just like a wet pumpkin-y aroma. Nice medium mouthfeel. Right up front, I'm getting a hit of a sweetness, and that cinnamon and nutmeg, like those pumpkin pie type spices, and with the sweetness, and then it definitely is reminiscent of a pumpkin pie, and then it fades to that pulpy pumpkin flavor. Not overwhelming, not too strong, not crazy. It's not hugely pumpkin-y. But definitely very close to a pumpkin pie. Like I said, originally the Jacko was more of a shandy. I wasn't too keen on it. It's slowly growing on me. I don't know if they changed it up this year or not, but I mean, it could be me. My tastes could be changing. And again, I could be just more in the mood, because beer taste is subjective sometimes, and sometimes it depends on how you feel. I'm liking it. It's still not in my top, 5 or 6 pumpkin beers, but I'm not offended by it anyway. It's not bad. Yeah. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, but it's not blowing me away either. I'm hitting it today with a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's slowly creeping up on my ratings. I don't know. Can't remember what I put on it last year. But 3.5 out of 5. And 2.5 on a scale of 1 to 5 is actually pretty average, or is exactly average. So a 3.5 is slightly above average. Decent beer. Again, I'm not blown away. It's not in my top 5 or 6 pumpkin beers, but I'm not putting it down as low as I think I used to. I think this one's kind of I'm getting used to it and starting to like it a little more. Anyway, I'm going to finish this up. We're going to move on to Oktoberfest. All right, so second up is Oktoberfest. This is a 5.3% ABV lager with 16 IBUs. Like I said, a little bit hoppy. Now, one thing I didn't point out at the top of the video, once again, following on the heels of the summer pack, we do not have Boston Lager in the Sam Adams Variety Pack, which is a new move for them. You know what I say? Fucking great. Fantastic. If there was still Sam Adams Boston Lager, I would, like to see it in all of their variety packs as their flagship beer. But since it's Boston Lager Remastered, they can fucking keep it. I'll take 2 new beers, even if they're not that great. At least they're new. And again, they're probably good. But just saying, even if they were to be awful, at least they're new beers. And that remastered crap can stay the hell out of my variety packs for all I care at this point. To be clear, it's not an awful beer in and of itself. It's just blah. But it is not the same as the original Boston Lager. And I don't care what the fuck they say. It does not taste the same. And they ruined it. And 9 out of 10 comments on their Facebook posts agree with me. So, anyway, enough about that. Oktoberfest. Everything we've come to expect from this beer, a slightly orangish, reddish, clear, not cloudy, slightly effervescent beer. Smells like fall, goddammit. Just that nice slight hint of fall spices, little tiny bit of hoppy bitterness, and almost like a crushed, dried leaves smell. There's nothing in there that should smell like crushed, dried leaves, so it's probably my imagination once again, but There's no mystery here, guys. If you've seen any of these fall videos, you know. Nice medium mouthfeel. Delicious roasty, toasty, slightly smoky flavor. Perfectly malted. There's a tiny, tiny hint of hoppy bitterness in there, but nothing that's going to overwhelm that delicious Oktoberfest flavor. Oh my god, there's 3 more in this pack. I might just have to go get my big-ass stein and pour all 3 of them into it and drink them all at once. Nope, we're not going to do that because there's 4 beers in this pack, and I got a couple of other variety packs I want to get through this weekend and try to kill at least 2 of them tonight. So, 8 beers. I don't need to be throwing 3 more in the middle of that because I'll never get through the next pack. My God, I keep going and getting all chatty on you guys tonight. Pardon. But that's delicious. I'm sorry, the Sam Adams Oktoberfest is always a perfect 5 out of 5 from me. Because there's anything like truly world-shattering about this beer or a huge standout. There's a lot of really good Oktoberfests, but for me, this is the quintessential Oktoberfest. It's kind of a yardstick that I measure all the others against. I've got nothing bad to say about it. Everything good. I just really love this beer. Again, there's a lot of other good Oktoberfests out there. And I like myself a good Oktoberfest. Again, fall beers, winter beers. Not that there's like a winter beer, but you know what I mean. Some of my top categories. Anyway, I'm going to finish this one up, obviously, very quickly, apparently. And we're going to grab Flannel Fest and see what that one's all about. Look what I found. I went in my closet to grab something else and found this left over from 3-4 years back. I can't remember. It was the last time they did a Stein hoisting competition through Portland Pie Company here in Maine. Anyway, next up is Flannel Fest Munich Dunkel. Product of the USA. I don't know why they had to call that out. It's a lager at 5.2% ABV, 20 IBUs. So look at that. I lined that up. Excuse me. Properly behind the Oktoberfest without even planning it that way. Now, I got to admit, when I first saw this and the label design, I got a little excited because Harpoon, also based out of Massachusetts, Boston, as a matter of fact, they do Flannel Friday, and they've had that one out for quite a few years now, and it's a really great fall beer. I thought, what are the odds that this is a collaboration? It's not. Okay. I know, weird that I would go there immediately, but, it could have happened. So, featuring robust notes of toasted bread and caramel, balanced by a light floral hop aroma, this classic German-style lager, paired with a flannel, will keep you cozy during your coldest of beer season adventures. No, I live in Maine. Winters are my coldest of beer season. Yeah, coldest beer season. And my adventures during winter require something a little more significant than flannel. Yes. Some of us wear Carhartt not to be trendy, but because it's fucking warm and it lasts forever. Anyway. That is dark. Halfway decent head on it. Glugged it out pretty good. Oh my god, is this a clear beer? No way. Hazy, cloudy beers seem to have migrated away from just being an IPA trend, and it seems like everybody wants a hazy beer for every style now. So I love it when I see a clear beer. Nice, dark, toasty, almost caramel brown color, slightly effervescent. Ooh, excuse me. Those first two beers are trying to come up all together. I think. Whew, pardon. A little smoky, a little sweet. Nice medium mouthfeel. Hint of overall hoppy bitterness in the finish. Slight dankness followed by floral tones. The fact that I'm getting anything other than citrus and pine from any hop variety is interesting because I mostly keyed towards citrus and pine. There's almost like a brewed tea flavor in the finish, but then there's like this roasty, sweet caramel. Medium mouthfeel. I didn't mention that before. I think I did. It's definitely toasty. There's almost a woody character to it. I'm getting hints of that smoky, like not an overly burnt, but maybe a heavily cooked caramel. If that makes any sense. Almost on the almost like a caramelized caramel or a crystallized caramel, like a brown sugar caramel combo. It's weird, but definitely like a roasty caramel character to it. And again, the caramel malt is just roasted to a certain degree, but yeah, really toasty and slightly smoky. That hint of dank yet also floral finish. It's interesting. It's good. It's almost like a more darkly roasted version of the Oktoberfest. Like it doesn't have a darker character or a darker mouthfeel or anything like that. It's not heavier, but if Oktoberfest were a food, it would be like a slightly overcooked Oktoberfest, but not in an unpleasant way. Tell me if that makes any sense. It's good. It's interesting. It's different. It's got my attention. I'm really digging it. I'm liking it. It's definitely a fall beer. I've had these flavor combinations before in some other beers, but it's not quite a unique combo, I don't think. Kind of hovering here. It's at least a 4.5 out of 5, and yeah, it's not quite giving me that wow or blown away reaction that I want from a perfect 5 out of 5 that doesn't have anything unique or different about it. But it's as close to that as it's going to get. I got nothing bad to say about it. I've got nothing critical or there's no drawbacks to the beer. It's just good. I honestly wish I could get this in the 6-pack instead of the Jacko. But anyway, I'm sitting at a solid 4.5 out of 5 on that. Not quite ready to push it up to the 5 today. But, that might change in the future. But today it's at a 4.5. Anyway, we're going to finish off Flannel Fest, and we'll finish the entire pack with the Hoppy Lager. All right, and last up from the pack is the Hoppy Lager. Seasonal 4.8% ABV, 30 IBUs. It is a dry hopped golden lager. Pardon. All right. I know I didn't read the back of the Oktoberfest, but everybody knows the Oktoberfest from Sam Adams. So, all right. Hoppy Lager, brewed to bring a flavorful crushability to the highest of hikes. Highest of hikes, okay, whatever. Craziest of tailgates and most hardcore corn mazes. All right. This twist on a classic lager offers big, juicy hop notes with the crisp drinkability of a lager for an explosion of flavor you can enjoy all beer season long. Right. So, a lot of times you see these, it's listed as an IPL, an India Pale Lager, because they've hopped up a lager. Hoppy Lager is fine. Hopped lager, or even just plain old lager, is fine, as long as you can tell at some point that it's hoppy. Oh, look at that. Another clear beer. And this one has been hopped up. So they did not feel the need to make it hazy. Awesome. That is definitely a nice golden lager, slightly effervescent, light looking and clear looking. Interesting hop aroma. I'm almost getting a grassiness, like a fresh cut grass. There's a smoky, like ozone, like electrical aroma to it. Like just after a big electrical discharge, you get that kind of charred air aroma, or rain evaporating off of hot pavement. That's what I'm getting, like, very interesting. Just kind of an overall hoppy bitterness along with that. It's got a heavier mouthfeel than you'd think, based on the look. It's got a bit of a medium mouthfeel. That seems to be a running theme in this pack. Crisp, smooth. Up front, just like this light beery flavor. And then it fades to a somewhat complex hop profile. There's still that hot, wet asphalt aroma somehow translating into a not unpleasant taste. And that's like the very tail end, but it's like grassy up front, a bit earthy and floral in there. It's impressing me by all these hop esters that, again, I don't typically get, but nice. Really good. Not crazy, not blowing me away, not too out there, but I think this one's getting a 4 out of 5. Yeah, it's not like a big wow or a huge, this is great beer. It's just a really good beer. I got nothing bad to say about it, and it is getting some extra points for giving me hop esters that I'm not used to getting. So, all in all, a pretty damn solid fall variety pack. You should pick it up, check it out. Hit me up down below in the comments or the email link. Love to hear what you have to say about any of the beers in here or the pack as a whole. Whether you agree or disagree, I'd be happy to hear from you. We'll talk about it. While you're down there, don't forget to like and share the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.